Hey everyone, welcome back to another online battle. I'm playing as the Lizardmen versing the High Elves of Obersturmführer. Führer? A lot of these names I found ridiculously hard to pronounce. So he's bought quite an expensive army actually. So we'll just see what he's got and what we've got. So he's brought a front line of 2 lots of Blackguard, which is really expensive, with some Witch Elves who can rage or enrage any unit that comes into contact with them. So I would generally use them more as a support unit and not a frontline unit to enrage certain things you want to keep in battle of the opponent. So we'll see how that goes for him. And then he's got a Dread Spear in the middle. So his middle is quite weak, but his outsides is really strong. Then he's got them backed up with some Dark Shards with shields and a Cold One Chariot. So that used to a really good effect can be quite interesting. There's not a lot we can do to stop that except for get heavy units, like large units in its road. So a really heavy infantry build from a Lizardman, chariots would be good against, but a heavy large build like I kind of brought. I brought large and air, so 2 Bastiladons, Lord Mazdamundi, and Skink Chiefs. So the chariot's not going to be that effective against them. But Cold One Knights for sure will be with their anti-large bonus. And finally he's got Malekith on his dragon. So, the army we brought. We brought Chameleon Skinks. 2 lots of them in order to skirmish and disrupt front lines and target specific units we want to do less damage with that poison that they have. We brought a front line of Saurus warriors with shields and 2 skink cohorts, and backing them up on the sides are Saurus spears in order to try and stop any cavalry. To back them up, we've got our Bastiladon solar engines to try and get as much damage as we can into the Dark Elf line before they reach us. And we do have Mazdamundi in order to use all of his wondrous and glorious spells. So we've got the buff to all of our infantry around us. So we get missile resistance and melee defense, which is very good. We also have Cold-Blooded, which can heal us. Nets of Amantok in order to tie down any major targets like Malekith or, say, the Cold One Chariots or the Cold One Knights. We also have Comet of Cassador to take out large grouped infantry blobs. And also Apotheosis to heal anybody that we may need healed. So people like the Bastiladons. We have Shielded Cold Ones to protect us from any magic damage, if it may happen, and Banishment also for those big blobs, and Ruination of Cities for the big blobs as well. So, quite an effective infantry destruction. And yeah, lastly, our Skink Chiefs. These are used to take out the enemy lord. So in this case, I'm going to use them to nullify Malekith as much as I possibly can. With the poison that they have, that will quite effectively take him out of the battle. So he wouldn't want to land, and the sustained fire from the Skink Chiefs will eventually destroy Malekith if he doesn't attempt to take them out. So let's see how this battle plays out. So I've got my Bastiladon engines in the front, trying to do as much damage as I can to their front line before they get to me. And I got my Chameleon Skinks off to the side here to try and charge in later. Got my Skink Chiefs getting into them straight away. I am using my Witch Elves, my Bastiladons to take out these Witch Elves, which is not going as well as I'd hoped. But a comet does come down on top of Mazdamundi from Malekith. Doesn't do as much damage as it could have, but not too bad overall. And our Skink Chief needs to get away. So I think I forgot to put them on skirmish to start off with, so he does end up getting caught quite quickly. But I believe I pull him out shortly. And my units are coming straight into this battle. I do end up seeing... He does end up seeing my Skink cohorts with his Cold War Knights, and they end up having a bit of a skirmish. And our front line has charged in and is now into battle. I was trying to get this Skink cohort around, but the Cold War Knights end up taking me out because of that. And these Dark Shards were not taken care of like they should have been, which made this battle a lot closer than it should have been. I do get these Chameleon Skinks around the back, which is good. And I get a nice... What was it again? Banishment, I think, from... Yeah, Banishment, which does take care of these Dark Shards quite effectively. So that did help me a lot. And I do get these Skink cohort into the back of these Blackguard in order to lower their attack and weapon strength and speed, which does end up helping me keep them at bay for quite a bit. As you can see, my Skink cohort, or my Skink Chiefs, constantly plucking at Malekith, and I get a nice Comet of Castor into the back of these Blackguard and Nagaron, taking them out quite effectively. These Chameleon Skinks did chase off those Cold One Knights, or lead them into the Bastiladon engines. I should have brought them back in a lot quicker. And as you can see, there is a lot of damage being done to Malekith from these constant Skink Chief fire. So that is something that the enemy does need to take into account. They need to get rid of those Skink Chiefs, or the sustained fire will end up being an absolute pain for them. Where did Mazdamundi go? Mazdamundi is over here. So unfortunately he does get enraged, which was not good for me. Being amongst Dread Spears and Dark Shards, those Witch Elves do get to him, which unfortunately means I can't use all the magic that I was hoping to use. So those Witch Elves did pretty good effect against that. Now that I've gotten my Bastiladons out of battle with the damn Cold One Knights, I do turn them to face Malekith and try to do as much damage as they possibly can. Chameleon Skinks getting into these Dark Shards to try and take care of those. And these Skink Chiefs constantly chasing Malekith down and just being an absolute pest. So, my Saurus Spears have done very well against these Blackguard and Nagaron. And my Skink cohorts and Saurus Spears have held for an immense time against these Blackguard, which is very good for me, because they weren't able to get into my Bastiladons. And I was able to get my Bastiladons to do as much damage as they possibly can because of that. So one Blackguard and Nagaron almost gone. Skink cohorts doing as well as they could. And Lord Mazdamundi still enraged, which is not good, with Dark Shards firing upon him. And Blackguard and Nagaron getting into him now as well. My Skink Chiefs still constantly firing on Malekith, and I have changed my Bastiladon to try and take out these cold ones before they get to them. Unfortunately, it looks like they are going to get into the backs of them and get rid of one of my Bastiladon engines, which was not good. And Lord Mazdamundi, only 430 health left. Can he get away? And will he rout completely, or will he still stay in the fight? My Skink Chief still constantly pestering Malekith, being an absolute pain. And it looks like my Bastiladon survived. Ah, oh, perfect. And my other one coming back from routing. And there we go. I can use Apotheosis on Lord Mazdamundi to get his health back. I believe I do that shortly. And my Saurus Warriors still charging straight on in with Rage. I am using my Comet of Cassador down on the Dark Shards and the Dread Spears to get rid of them. Or does he get them out in time? No, he does not. And those Dark Shards end up getting obliterated once again. So it looks like Apotheosis wasn't really... Oh, I was up to max health regeneration. I should have looked at that. Okay, so I have already regenerated as much health as I possibly can. So that was something I should have considered. Oh no, there we go. Have a little bit more I can regenerate. From Apotheosis. And, oh, I missed the banishment, but there was a banishment that went down on that big group, Blackguard and Naggarond and other units, which ended up winning that victory for me. My Skink Chiefs chasing off the last little bit of Malekith that was left. Sorry I missed that, guys, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed, because it was a very intense battle for me. Having to use Mazdamundi's magic to pretty good effect, I think. The Comet of Cassador is going down on those Blackguard and Naggarond. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had any other ways of really taking them out. As you can see, the other Blackguard and Naggarond that didn't have any magic shot into him survived quite effectively. So I probably should have targeted them with my Bastiladon engines in order to get more damage into those units. But that was a spur-of-the-moment decision that did not go my way. Anyway, Mazdamundi doing very well for himself. 80 kills with his banishments and Comet of Cassadors. My front line holding as well as I could have hoped, with there being such a elite infantry on the other side. His Witch Elves did pretty well, actually. One group of them did, 76. The other one not quite as effective as he probably would have hoped. And my Bastiladon engines not doing as well as I had hoped either. But my Skink Chiefs doing exactly what I had hoped they would do. You have the healing for my Bastiladon engines with the Cold Blood, and then also annoying the hell out of Malekith constantly throughout the battle. Basically, the only damage that was done was from the Skink Chiefs, and as you can see, they almost ended up killing him, which is quite effective over a battle, to just not have to worry about the enemy lord that much. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye!